Hello, it's Mary Lou Novak with Resource, the number 4 Care, where we interview healthcare, wellness professionals, and those involved with helping seniors and their adult children navigate aging and aging well. Today we have our guest, Kristen Miller, and she is the owner and founder of MidSouth Aging Consultants. And she also runs Memory Makers of the MidSouth.
It's a lot of M's.
I know. I should be used to it, my name being Mary Lou. But anyway, we're here today to talk about the difference, recognizing the difference between normal aging and like what are the signs of cognitive decline.
Right.
What's the difference? And Kristen is in and around dementia and Alzheimer's and all kinds of cognitive issues. So she's our resident expert today.
Well, I appreciate you having me today. A lot of people want to know, am I getting dementia or am I just having some senior moments?
That's right.
I walked into a room, I can't remember why I walked in there, am I losing my marbles,
Right.
But there, as part of the aging process that our body goes through, there are some changes
Sure.
that happen in the brain, just like driving a high mileage car, you have some parts that start to wear out over time.
Right.
So some things that are normal
Yes.
for aging is, maybe making a bad decision once in a while. Of course, I don't think that has anything to do with aging. I think we all make
Might have
bad
emotional
decisions.
maturity issues.
Yeah,
no,
right.
just kidding.
Sometimes you might miss a monthly payment. It's so easy nowadays when you have everything on auto draft that you forget that,
Sure.
that money is coming out.
Yeah, you're not physically doing something.
You're not writing
Yeah.
the check out, yeah. Or even like maybe paying it twice because you kind of forgot
Right.
that you already paid it. Forgetting what day it is, but then it comes back to you.
Okay, so that's typical of just getting older, you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Okay.
Especially when like this month we've had so many holidays. And everybody was off yesterday for President's Day.
Sure.
And it's kind of like, okay, what day are we on
Right, right.
now? That's totally normal.
And throw a few snow days in there and you're really
Right.
messed up.
Yeah, we got really discombobulated.
Right.
Sometimes like forgetting which word to use, it's right there on the tip of your tongue, and then as soon as you stop thinking about it, it pops back.
Right.
Losing things from time to time.
Right.
Totally normal.
Misplacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not find my coffee for the longest time this morning,
Really.
and I knew that I had carried it from room to room.
Sure, you knew you had it at some point.
So I retraced all of my steps, and you know where I found it?
Mhm.
Right behind my laptop, where I was
Oh,
sitting.
you
and
were
working.
sitting there the whole time.
It was right there.
I did that with my water. I have this water bottle. I try to measure how much I'm drinking. And this morning I could not. It was in the laundry room.
Yeah.
I had taken stuff out of the dryer and left it there.
Yeah, but we misplace things in logical places.
Yes, right.
And then we have the ability to retrace our steps and figure it out.
Sure, we're not putting our hairdryer in the refrigerator. Or
Exactly.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes walking into a room, forgetting why you went in there, and then you walk back out and, now I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes getting turned around, getting a little lost.
Right.
That, for me, has nothing to do with aging, because I have a terrible sense of direction. I have probably put more miles in my car pulling U-turns.
I have a hard time understanding that because it's like natural for me.
Yeah.
But everybody has different, superpowers.
It's not mine. Sometimes it's okay. It's normal to take
Sure.
a little longer to learn new things. Old dogs can learn new tricks. It just takes a little longer.
They just have to be willing.
Well, that too.
Yes.
Maybe repeating yourself once in a while.
Sure.
Especially if it's a really good story and you can't exactly remember who you told it to, and you've told it quite a few times.
Right.
Maybe missing an appointment once in a while. You just kind of got mixed up, got your wires crossed, didn't write it down,
Right.
what have you. Forgetting what's on your grocery list when you walk into a store. Definitely normal for aging. You can have milk, butter, eggs in your brain, milk, butter, eggs, all the way to the store. You walk in the store and all of a sudden you're inundated with all these other choices,
Sure.
and then milk, butter, and eggs goes
Just
right out the
fly out.
window. You get everything but. Problems with multitasking. As we age, it was easier maybe when we were young and having children and we got a baby on one hip and a phone on this side and we're cooking dinner at the same
Right.
time. As we get older, we need to focus on just one task at a time.
Mhm.
Totally normal. Slower reaction times, and that's just part of the aging process. That does
Mhm.
not mean that you're losing your marbles
Right.
or anything bad is going to happen.
Mhm.
But there are some things that you need to look out for.
Okay.
So this is where we get into some early warning signs of dementia.
Okay. Love to hear them.
Yeah, things that are not normal for aging.
Mhm.
And that is a misconception in and of itself. People think, oh, well, dementia is just part of getting old. It's really not.
No.
No, it is not a normal part of aging. But age is your biggest risk factor. So some things that are not normal for aging are asking the same questions over and over.
Mm.
Just having that short-term kind of memory
Lapse.
loss.
Right.
Yeah. Getting lost in familiar places.
Mm.
If you drive the same route to church and back every week and then you get turned
One
around.
day you get turned
Yeah.
around.
That's definitely a warning sign.
Okay.
Not being able to follow instructions. So,
Mm.
if you think about certain tasks,
Right.
like if I said, Mary Lou, go make a pot of coffee.
Right.
Well, there's several tasks
Sure.
involved in making a pot of coffee.
Right.
And if you get to the coffee pot and you kind of stare at it and you can't remember
Right.
which instruction, what do you
What
do
order
first?
do I do? Yeah. What do I do in what order?
Or even if I say, go in the laundry room and get me a towel and then go put it in the bathroom.
Right.
That's multi-step
Yes.
directions.
Mm.
Not being able to follow multi-step directions, that could be a warning sign.
Okay. Could some medications do that as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about that
Okay.
in a second.
All
Yeah.
right.
Being confused about time, people, and places. So
Okay,
not
explain.
knowing. So, we have this window here and the blinds are closed.
Right.
And so a person who has dementia might interpret this as nighttime instead of
Because there's
daytime.
less light.
Right.
Okay.
Or if it's, cloudy outside or if there's a window with a shade on it.
Mhm. Okay.
They can easily misinterpret that. Not knowing where they are.
Mm.
If I said, what town are we in?
Right.
And you think you're still in New Jersey.
Right.
That's
It's been a while since I've lived there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be a big warning
Mhm.
sign.
Don't hold that against me that I live in New Jersey.
Making poor judgments and decisions most of the time. This is when we have people that are constantly answering the phone to every caller, which is probably going to be spam.
Sure.
Good bit of
Especially
time.
nowadays. Well,
Yeah, and talking to them and
Mhm.
sending them money
right.
or letting people in that they don't know.
Right.
Just really bad judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Problems taking care of their monthly bills. It's more than just a once in a while mispayment. This is maybe several mispayments in a row, cut-off notices, or paying the same bills multiple times
Right.
and really getting into financial trouble.
Mm.
Changes in mood and personality. And this is something that a lot of spouses and caregivers probably notice first.
Really? Okay.
Long before they notice the memory loss.
Okay.
If you have a person that's normally optimistic and now they're really kind of pessimistic, or they seem kind of down or depressed, and it's not what their normal mood or
Right.
personality is, that's a really big warning sign.
Okay.
To say, hey, something is not right here.
Mm.
Trouble having a conversation. So what happens when a person has dementia, and just to clarify, dementia is a umbrella term,
Right.
and it's a symptom that causes problems with memory and thinking.
Okay.
And there are a lot of different diseases that
Yes.
cause that symptom, like an Alzheimer's disease.
Sure.
And so you're having actual tissue breakdown in the brain.
Changes to the brain matter.
Yeah, changes to the brain matter, structural changes.
Got it.
And so one of the areas that is very affected are your language centers here in your temporal lobes. And so not only are you having trouble coming up with the right words, interpreting words, putting the connections between words and meanings, but your processing speed slows way down.
Okay.
So it may take you much longer to process what somebody
Right.
is saying. Misplacing things often, being unable to find them. So it's normal, we might put our keys down somewhere.
On occasion.
Yeah, on
right.
occasion, but then we can retrace our steps.
Mhm.
A warning sign is when they lose the ability to retrace their steps.
Okay. Or it's happening like
Very frequently.
several times a day or
Yeah.
every day.
And then they start accusing the people around them of stealing something. Because in their mind, they're not the ones that misplaced it because
Right.
they have no memory of it.
Right.
So logically, somebody else must have taken
It
it.
was there, now it's gone. So.
Right. Or
Okay.
finding things in really odd places.
Right.
You know, like
I was
here-
joking about the
yeah.
hair dryer, but yeah.
But it's very common to find wallets in the refrigerator or the freezer.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah. Milk in the pantry
Right.
instead of in the fridge.
Mm.
Changing.
When I was in Idaho, they used to put butter in the cupboard. They didn't put it in the refrigerator.
Well, it makes it easier to spread when
Yes.
it's soft. But to me, it's ew.
But that was, I know, it's just different life.
Yeah.
Made me think of it, sorry. Scroll there for a minute. Is that a sign? Hopefully not. I choose to believe it's creative thinking instead of...
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Changes in planning or solving problems.
Mm.
So, you know, and you think about it, it doesn't have to be a huge plan. It can be something like planning a meal.
Right.
Okay, and you have to plan out the menu. You
Sure.
have to make a list of the groceries you need. You
Yeah,
have to
the
go to the
ingredients,
store.
Yeah.
All of these kinds of things. And not being able to do something like
The
that.
mechanics of doing it.
Right. There's a lot of, you're right. The word is mechanics. A lot of
Right.
mechanics to it.
Right.
Yeah. Difficulty completing familiar tasks.
Okay.
You know, like mom always made, you know, this special recipe and now
Right.
she can't remember how to make it.
Sure.
Big warning sign.
Okay. Does that also relate to, and you might touch on this, how people present themselves? Like they usually would put their makeup on, because that's what mom always did, but now she's not.
Yeah, and grooming and bathing can be
Mhm.
warning signs, or even the tidiness of a house.
Okay.
So, because, you know, keeping house, doing chores,
Right.
household chores, doing the grooming, those are all multi-step things.
Yes.
And they might think that they've already done it
Mm.
and not realize that they haven't.
Sure.
And that's where we see people that haven't bathed in 3 or 4 days, and it's really hard to convince them that they need to. Because, well, I just took a shower.
Right.
Not realizing,
The time span, yeah.
yeah, because you develop a time blindness.
Mm.
Withdrawal from work and social activities. So when your processing speed of your brain slows down,
Right.
then you have trouble keeping up with conversations.
Sure. I saw that with my dad. He would be on the phone a lot less.
Yeah.
He would come on, he would say pretty much the same thing each time, you know, he got on the phone.
Yeah.
But he would end the conversation quickly. you
Yeah.
know. Not abruptly or anything, but just he wouldn't stay on and hold a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one reason. And then if you,
I was
yeah.
I was blaming it on dementia. I was hoping it wasn't that he didn't want to talk to me. No, we get it. No,
Yeah.
He did have some issues.
Yeah. Yeah, bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, not only are you having trouble following a conversation, but then you forget the social appointments. And then there's also an element, especially in the early stages, of there's something wrong with me, and how are other people going to react?
So you have a bit of an awareness that things aren't right.
Right.
So you withdraw. Is that what you're saying?
A lot of times that can
Okay.
happen, because, you know, think about it. There's still a lot of stigma around
Sure.
dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and so people think, well, even if they have a diagnosis and they're
Right.
aware of it, how are my friends and family going to react
Sure.
to me
Yeah.
when I tell them?
Yeah. The fear of being judged or
Fear of being judged, and then also it can be just a very depressing thought.
sure. Well, I think
Yeah.
some people feel like if I say it, it's real.
That too, there
Yeah.
can be an element of denial,
Right.
but also they can just get very down knowing what's coming.
That something's happening.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that factor into that, but then the caveat is the more you isolate, the more you withdraw, the faster the decline.
Yeah, we've all seen that, right?
Yeah.
Because we've been in care where lack of social interaction and isolation
Yeah.
accelerate what's happening.
Yeah, we definitely saw it during COVID.
Yes.
I mean,
And we saw it with
real
everybody,
time.
even
Yeah.
not elderly people.
Yeah.
People going backwards in their development.
Yeah, we were designed to be social creatures.
Yes, very much so. Even if you don't like being a social butterfly, it's still part of the human experience, right?
Right. But there is also a condition called mild cognitive impairment.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people who have MCI that never progress further.
Okay.
But then there are people who have MCI that do progress.
Mm.
So there's not really any way to tell.
Mm.
However, some signs of mild cognitive impairment can kind of look like some early signs of dementia. So losing things a little more often, having a little more trouble with words,
Right.
with words than your peers, maybe forgetting some appointments and things. It's at that stage it can be, maybe sort of noticeable, but it hasn't reached the stage where you're not able to function independently.
Right.
So those are the kind of people that if you at the beginning, when you first notice
Right.
things aren't exactly right,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you need to get to the doctor.
Okay.
And here's why. Because there are several things that can look like dementia
Right.
that are not actually dementia.
Okay.
So you can have spinal fluid build up on your brain,
Okay.
which is called normal pressure hydrocephalus, treatable condition. You can have medications.
Right.
And the more medications you're on, the higher your risk of drug interactions
Interesting.
and the higher
Okay.
your risk of having some of these cognitive symptoms.
Right.
So it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor and say, hey, is there
Right.
anything on this list I can get rid of
Sure.
or take less of?
Is the same true if you notice things like for yourself? We're talking a lot about noticing it in others, but if you begin to notice changes in yourself, at what point, do you get concerned enough? I mean, it might just be aging, but is it the same for yourself? Noticing for yourself. Like, at what point do you mention it?
I would say as soon as you start to notice things, because you know your body better than anybody
Sure.
else. And it's not something you want to put off. Because it could be something that is easily treatable,
Sure.
like depression,
Right.
or some other type of mental health
Okay.
disorder. It could be a urinary tract infection.
True.
And we know that in UTIs, they often present in older people with
Yes.
a totally different set of symptoms.
Right. Right.
And if you put that off, it can turn septic.
Right.
Thyroid disease
Yeah.
can cause a lot of cognitive issues, and it's also very common amongst older people. If you have certain vitamin deficiencies, like
Okay.
B12,
Sure.
a B12 vitamin deficiency,
Right.
this is a particular risk for people who are vegans,
Interesting. Okay.
because we get a lot of B vitamins from animal products.
Okay.
So B12 deficiency,
Right.
or it's also called, B1 is also another vitamin
Okay.
that can cause memory deficits if there's a deficiency.
Mhm.
And B1 is also called thiamine.
Okay. I've heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, so your B
Mhm.
vitamins are very important.
Okay.
Diabetes. If your diabetes is not well controlled,
Mm.
you can present with some cognitive symptoms.
Right. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of recordings about people's glucose and sugar levels, even if they're not diabetic, that it can affect
Oh yeah.
affect you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tremendous impact on your cardiovascular system.
Sure.
On your kidneys.
Yeah. Also on how you carry your weight too. I noticed that too.
Yeah. Another reason why you might want to get to the doctor soon is because there could be TIAs.
Mm.
TIA is a transient ischemic attack. It's also, we used to call them mini strokes.
Right.
And so there can be tissue damage there, even though it might not be a major stroke.
Right.
But it still causes tissue death right around where that little clot is.
Okay.
And sometimes that function comes back, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But it can create confusion.
Mm.
And then also, you want to make sure that you're not drinking too much. Now, I know it's kind of confusing.
Do you mean drinking alcohol or just
Yes.
drinking, period?
Alcohol.
Oh, gosh,
Yes.
because I drink water all day. I've never heard of water being bad for you, but...
Well, only if you're overhydrated can water be bad for you.
I don't think that's the case, but...
Yeah, you'd have to drink a whole lot of water and not enough salt in order to be overhydrated.
Okay.
Which can cause
Right.
confusion. But no, drinking alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So there's been some contradictory studies, should we do the one glass of wine?
Right.
Should we not?
Right. Should it just be occasional, not regularly, or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we really want to look out for, though, is binge drinking.
Mm.
And drinking several alcoholic drinks.
Okay.
Because that can cause brain cell death.
Okay.
Even in younger people, it creates brain cell death. There's a whole process that goes on when we drink alcohol.
Right.
Process that happens in the brain. And sometimes if you binge drink over a long period of time, you cause irreversible damage.
Wow. Good to know. I'm going to take a little break right now, and I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. Everything we do and we put together for recordings, I think there's about 80 of them now, on resource, the number 4care.com, is free for anyone to view. And that's made possible by our sponsors. And our sponsor we're highlighting today is Leah Morse of All Things New. All Things New helps you repurpose your belongings into the life that you're living currently. So for those people who are moving to a different place or downsizing, she takes care of everything from helping you navigate what to keep, what to get rid of, and moving it over, and then setting up your new place so it looks like home.
Yeah.
So thank you, Leanne, and thank you, All Things New, for sponsoring what we do here. So what's the one key message you'd like our members to remember if they're wondering whether dementia is normal or aging? Like, can you wrap it into one? Probably not. You have a whole list of things.
Yeah, one thing I do want to stress, though, is that a lot of times dementia can be prevented, or at least your risk factors for developing dementia can be lowered by some modifiable habits. And the U.S. Pointer study just came out and kind of reaffirmed things that we already knew.
Okay, we have about 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Give us a few of those.
So the first one is make sure you're eating a healthy diet.
Okay.
Which is, I know, sometimes easier said than done.
Right.
And, the Alzheimer's Association and other entities recommend the Mediterranean diet.
Right.
Or the Mind diet. But I say just, if all else fails, use the common sense diet.
Right.
And, your lean proteins, lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains. Eat those more often and eat junk less often.
Right.
But that diet can really just make huge improvements in your brain health and your cardiovascular health. The second biggest one is exercise. So we all know the benefits of exercise, our cardiovascular system, and anything that's good for your heart is going to be good for your brain.
Okay.
But also, exercise has been shown to make your brain more resilient. So every time you exercise, you are creating new neural pathways through your brain.
Okay.
And making it more elastic.
Okay.
So whatever that looks like for you.
So while I'm doing my treadmill and listening to a book, I'm double stretching my brain.
Yeah. But whatever that exercise looks like for you. If it's, the treadmill, if it's exercise bike, if it's walking around your neighborhood, if it's, doing chair exercises with water bottles, cans of soup, whatever.
Yes.
Anything that you can do is going to be good.
Okay.
And then making sure that you're staying on top of your numbers. So your blood pressure numbers, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, keeping those things within range the best you can, maybe by changing some lifestyle factors or maybe with some medication. Because vascular dementia is the second leading cause of all cases of dementia.
Okay.
Alzheimer's is the number one cause.
Right.
Vascular dementia means that your brain is not getting enough good blood flow.
Okay.
And so you maybe have blockages in here.
Sure.
Or even just having heart disease causes your vascular system to become very
restrict.
rigid.
Yeah.
And so that can affect your brain.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so going along with that, stop smoking.
Right.
Because smoking has that same effect on your cardiovascular
it
system.
definitely restricts the blood flow. Okay.
Yeah. You also want to pay attention to your sleep.
Okay.
Because if you're not sleeping, you're going to have cognitive issues. When we sleep, that's when the brain cleans the house.
Okay.
So you have this cerebrospinal fluid that comes through and it kind of flushes out little bits and pieces of proteins and things that we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't sleep, they can't take place.
Okay.
And so now these things start to accumulate and they form plaques.
Create fog for you. Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely pay attention to your sleep. You also want to take measures to protect your head because traumatic brain injuries can also cause dementia. So if you're on a bike and you're riding around the neighborhood, wear your helmet.
Yeah.
Wear your seatbelt.
Yes.
But also take measures to prevent falls because if you fall and hit your head, that can create a traumatic brain injury.
Yes.
And, fall prevention is a whole other topic.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And, sometimes we have little aches and pains that make us less mobile. I have an issue right now with my big toe. You wouldn't think how much you use your big toe in walking.
I pulled a hamstring during the ice and slipped and fell on the ice and pulled a hamstring. It's been 2 weeks and I'm still hobbling around.
Right. Yeah. It happens.
So those are some really great things that you can do, in addition to working the puzzles and reading and keeping your brain active.
Keep your brain stimulated.
Staying social.
Right.
But here's something that is fairly new. You also need to get your hearing and your vision checked. Yeah. Because there is a distinct correlation between hearing loss, vision loss, and higher risk of dementia.
Yeah, we had somebody on from Thrive Hearing and tinnitus or tinnitus, depending on where you're in the country you're from. But they made that connection during that recording. Yeah. That it really affects cognitive ability. Definitely. Well, we just have about 3 minutes, so tell us a little bit about how, what you do and how to reach you. Because I know you have a lot of great things going on, especially with the memory cafes. Yeah. So my first hat, MidSouth Aging Consultant. I use my background in social work and my years of working in geriatrics to help people navigate a lot of these complex issues that come up with aging. Should I age in place at home? Right. How can I do that safely? All those decisions. All of those decisions. Should I move to senior living? Which one is right for me? How do I pay for those things? Right. Help, we've gotten a dementia diagnosis. We don't know what to do next. So a lot of those kind of complex issues. And then my other hat is Memory Makers of the MidSouth. It's a nonprofit, and we provide free programs for people with dementia. It's called the Memory Cafe. And we have 9 of those here in Shelby County. They're all free. You can attend as many as you want. And it's a time of fellowship, a time of activities, a time to, be with people that understand your journey. Sure. We also provide caregiver support groups, and we provide education for the community. And those Memory Maker events are for caregivers and the person who has dementia, correct? Right. Excellent. Well, thank you for all the wonderful things you're doing and volunteering your time today to add another recording. Like I mentioned earlier, you can see all of these recordings or listen to them. Just go to resource, 4care.com. Click on any of the links that will bring you to our Spotify Aging in Memphis podcast or our YouTube channel, Resource for Care, and get all this free education. Well, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for having me. All right. See you soon.